Hello everyone, welcome back. It is the middle of July and I am going to try and predict every single game in the upcoming NFL season, and I'm just going to see how accurate I am. We're very far away from the start of the year, but I wanted to give this a shot. So we're going to start out here in week 1, go all the way through week 18, see what the playoffs look like. Let's get straight into it here, starting off with AFC matchups. I think the Jags will take down the Colts. Bengals will take down the Browns, although that could be an interesting one. We could see the Browns take that. Got Ravens over Texans. Give me the Broncos over the Raiders. The Dolphins over the Chargers. I think the Bills are going to take down the Jets on Monday Night Football. Unfortunately, I don't think the Lions can get it done over the Chiefs. Niners will cruise to a win. Saints will get a week 1 win. Eagles will stay hot. Build off last season, get the week 1 win. I think the Commanders will win. This is a tough game, man. The NFC South is so weird, but give me the Falcons at home, the Vikings at home over the Bucks. Bucks are gonna have a tough year. Bears over the Packers in week 1, Seahawks over the Rams, and then we're gonna take the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Giants, although that could be an interesting one in New York. Chiefs, Jags, this is a big game. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, though. I don't think the Jags are quite at that level yet. I think the Bengals will get the win at home over the Ravens. Bills will beat the Raiders. Then this is an interesting one in Tennessee, but I do think the Chargers will take it. Then I have the Texans beating the Colts at home. I have the Dolphins beating the Patriots. And I have the Browns beating the Steelers on the road on Monday Night Football. I think the Browns are going to be sneaky good this year. But next we got the Cowboys taking down the Jets at home. And then we have the Broncos getting off to a 2-0 start, with the Eagles once again taking down the Vikings just like they did last year in week 2. And then the Bears are going to beat the Bucks. The Falcons will get a win over the Packers. Falcons with a nice little 2-0 start. The Lions will beat the Seahawks at home. The Niners will win. The Giants will win. And the Saints will win. On to week 3, where the Browns get an easy win over the Titans. The Jags will win. The Ravens will win. The Broncos are going to upset the Miami Dolphins on the road. The Jets will beat the Patriots, though. And then we're going to have a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Las Vegas Raiders. We got a win for the Bills on the road in Washington. Chargers will beat the Minnesota Vikings. Chiefs will cruise to an easy victory. So will the Bengals. So will the Niners. So will the Lions. Then we have the Packers upsetting the Saints at home. I think the Saints are going to be really good, but I do have the Packers taking this one. Seahawks take this one over the Panthers. Cowboys take care of business against the Cardinals. And the Eagles beat the Bucks. Moving on to week 4. I got the Bills beating the Dolphins, the Browns beating the Ravens, the Steelers beating the Texans, the Bengals beating the Titans, the Raiders upsetting the Chargers. I think the Chargers might struggle this year. I have the Jets actually beating the Chiefs to give the defending champs their first loss of the season. This game's in London. You know the Jags are going to win it. The Colts are actually going to beat the Rams. The Broncos will beat the Bears. And then the Cowboys will beat the Patriots. Now we got the NFC games where we're going to have the Packers beat the Lions to give the Lions their second loss of the year. The Vikings will beat the Panthers to make everyone in the North 2-2. The Eagles will cruise to another win. They're 4-0. Another easy win for the Saints. They're 3-1. And then wins for the Seahawks and Niners to close out week 4. On to week 5. We got the Bills taking down the Jags on the road, or not on the road, in London. And then the Titans are going to get their first win of the year over the Colts, with the Steelers beating the Ravens and the Jets beating the Broncos. Now moving over to the NFC AFC games, we've got the Dolphins beating the Giants. I have the Texans beating the Falcons. Then Saints beat the Patriots. Psych, just kidding, the Patriots get the win at home. And then we have the Bengals beating the Cardinals. Chiefs beat the Vikings, although that could be an interesting game where the Vikings could pull out an upset. The Raiders are going to get the win at home. Then I have the Commanders beating the Bears, with the Lions beating the Panthers. Eagles beat the Rams, and this is a great game. I have the Cowboys taking their first loss, though. Two undefeated teams go at it, but I think the Niners come out on top. On to Week 6, where the Chiefs continue their win streak against the Broncos. The Titans are going to lose to the Ravens in London. The Jags are going to stay hot, beat the Colts, move on to 4-2. The Patriots are going to beat the Raiders, bouncing back from that atrocious game last year. Panthers get their first win of the year with an upset over the Dolphins on the road. The Bengals will beat the Seahawks. The Browns are going to deliver the 49ers their first loss of the season, though. Browns having a good year at 4-1. I really like the Browns this year if Deshaun Watson can play well. Then I have the Texans actually beating the Saints in a close one, but I think the Texans actually slightly edge out the Saints in this one because it's in Houston. Now I have the Eagles getting their first loss of the year in New York to the Jets, but the Bills stay undefeated, beating the Giants. And then the Cowboys take their second loss, back-to-back losses, as the Chargers upset them at home. Chargers trying to put something together to get something going. But we head over to this game where the Commanders are going to somehow beat the Falcons on the road. And then the Lions are going to beat the Bucks because the Bucks are hopeless. They're just going to have an awful season. The Bears are going to beat the Vikings, a just tough start for the Vikings. And then the Rams pick up their first win over the Cardinals. Now, I do think the Bills are going to drop their first game here on the road to the Patriots. The Colts are actually going to beat the red-hot 4-1 Browns. The Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers once again. The Jags are going to beat the Saints, with the Lions losing to Baltimore. Then we're going to have the Bears get a win, moving them to first place in the NFC North, but that won't last long. We're going to go Eagles, we're going to go Steelers and Broncos. Then we're going to head over here. Bucks finally pick up their first win of the season. New York beats Washington, Seattle beats Arizona, and San Francisco is going to drop this game to the struggling Vikings. We're going to try and get something going there with a big win over the Niners. Now we got the Steelers actually taking one from the 5-2 Jags, moving the Steelers to 5-2 in second place in the North. Dolphins beat the Patriots. Broncos finally snap the win streak of the Chiefs over the Broncos, and they beat the Chiefs. The Bills take a win over the Bucks very easily. Panthers get a win here. Jets beat the Giants. I got the Saints over the Colts here on the road. I think the Titans finally get another win here at home against Atlanta. The Seahawks barely edge out the Browns in a very tight one. The Ravens demolish the Cardinals, who still are yet to pick up a win. But the Niners get a huge win over the Bengals here at home. Then I have the Chargers beating the Bears, the Lions beating the Raiders, the Cowboys win, the Vikings win, and the Eagles win to round out Week 8. We're now approaching the halfway point. We're going to fly through this one, take a look at the standings. We got a win for the Steelers, a win for the Chiefs, a win for the Bengals, a win for the Jets, a win for the Patriots, Browns, Ravens. A lot of home teams getting wins. But here we go. We're going to get finally a win, another win for the Bucks, a win for the Panthers. The Giants will defeat the Raiders. Vikings get another win to put them above 500, back in contention for a playoff spot. Saints will take down the Bears. The Saints have that division on lockdown now. And the Rams are finally going to get another win, where this is a huge game, but I think the Eagles take it to just solidify themselves at the top of the AFC East. We're now going to take a look at the standings in the playoff picture. AFC, we got 1 seed Bengals at 7-1, 2 seed Chiefs 7-2, 3 seed Bills at 7-2, 4 seed Jags at 5-3. 5 seed is the 6-2 Steelers, the 6-2 Jets, and the 6-2 Broncos to round out the playoffs, with the Ravens sitting at 6-3, just half a game out of the playoff picture. Moving on to the NFC, we have the Eagles dominating once again at 8-1. The Niners at 6-2 in second. Lions at 5-3 in third. Saints at 5-4 in fourth. Seahawks with the 5 seed at 5-3. Cowboys also at 5-3, along with the Vikings at 5-4, rounding out the 7 seed, with the Bears right behind them at 4-5. That's what we're looking like halfway through the NFL season. Moving on to Week 10, let's go finish this out, see who ends up making the playoffs in my predictions. We're going to have the Ravens take down the Browns, Bengals win over the Texans. This is going to be an interesting game here in Germany, but I think the Patriots will get the win. The Jets will also beat the Raiders. Bills get a win to stay a half game above the Jets. I think the Niners drop this one to the Jags. The Bucks finally get another win. Bucks starting to string together a couple. Steelers win. Lions win. Panthers win. Vikings win. The Cardinals finally pick up their first win of the season. The Cowboys will win, and the Seahawks will win, moving the Seahawks to first in the West. However, they're going to drop this game to the Rams. The Niners are going to win, moving the Niners back up to first. Then we're going to have the Commanders beat the Giants. The Cowboys drop a game. It's like you really thought I was going to do that for a second. No, the Cowboys are 7-3. Lions beat the Bears. This is a great Super Bowl rematch, and I actually think the Chiefs will come out on top again. The Vikings beat the Broncos. Vikings are on fire right now. The Chargers win, and the Texans will beat the Cardinals. Cardinals at 1-10. That's just atrocious. And I think the Bills, in this scenario, only a half a game ahead of the Jets, will complete the sweep of the Jets at home to move on to 9-2. Then we're going to have the Jags win, the Browns win at home over the Steelers, the Dolphins win, and the Ravens will knock off the Bengals. Moving on to Week 12, we have the Dolphins beat the Jets, the Steelers beat the Bengals, the Jags win, the Broncos win, the Raiders are going to get a win over the Chiefs here, move the Chiefs down to 8-3, the Ravens will win, somehow jumping everyone to first place in the North. This season's just going to be chaotic, guys. I'm so excited for this. Then we got the Giants will beat the Patriots. The Colts will beat the Bucks. I'm going to take the Titans over the Panthers. And then the Eagles will move on to 9-2, and they will beat the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to the NFC games, we got the Lions, we got the Cowboys. I got the Seahawks at home over the 49ers before the Saints knock off the Falcons. The Cardinals get a win over the Rams, and the Vikings take a win over the Chicago Bears. Moving on to Week 13 now. We have the Chargers knocking off the Patriots. The Titans get a win over the Colts. The Broncos beat the Texans. The Bengals beat the Jags. We now got we're going to go Dolphins over the Commanders. I like the Steelers over the Cardinals. Give me the Jets over the Falcons. That one's pretty easy. Browns beat the Rams. Chiefs beat the Packers. Cowboys beat the Seahawks. Now we got, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Panthers. Panthers beat the Bucks. Saints beat the Lions. And this game is going to be crazy. But I have the Niners getting their revenge over the Eagles for the NFC Championship game. Now we're on to Week 14, where I have the Steelers beating the Patriots. The Browns beating the Jags. The Jets beating the Texans. The Bengals beating the Colts. The Chiefs are going to beat the Bills. The Chargers will beat the Broncos. And the Dolphins will beat the Titans. So all the home teams are going to win in the AFC. And then that's going to continue with the Ravens win. But then the Vikings will beat the Raiders, breaking that streak. We got Falcons over the Bucks. Give me the Lions over the Cowboys, or the Bears. I like the Saints here. I like the 49ers. They're not going to get swept by the Seahawks. I also like the Cowboys over the Eagles in this home game. And then I'm going to take the Packers over the Giants. Alright, next up we got, I'm going to go Chargers in this. I think the Steelers are going to drop a huge game here to the Colts, and then the Dolphins are going to beat the Jets. The Jets just have been dropping and dropping. I think the Texans will beat the Titans. Give me, this is a big one. I'm going to take the Jags over the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game, though. Browns, Lions, Bengals, Bills, Panthers, Packers, Niners, Saints, Rams, Eagles. Seahawks dropped to 7-7 on the year. We're going to take a quick look at the standings here with a couple weeks left. We have the NFC North just completely dominating, with the AFC East doing pretty solid, having a lot of teams in contention. Over to the NFC, the South is kind of on lockdown by the Saints. The North, the Lions and Vikings are just dominating. Then the East, we got the Cowboys and Eagles both playing great football, with the Giants and Commanders both having really down years. The West, we got the Seahawks and Niners playing well, with the other two teams not. Alright, moving on though. We got the Bengals with the win over the Steelers. We got the Bills with the win over the Chargers. We have the Browns with the win over the Texans. Before we got the Broncos beating the Patriots. Chiefs beat the Raiders. Give me the Jets. Give me the Colts. Give me the Seahawks. Jags. Dolphins. I'm going to go Ravens here, I think. I like the Ravens over the Niners there. Now I'm going to go, I think the Rams get a win here. Panthers get a win. Lions beat the Vikings to clinch the NFC North and claim the number 1 seed for a little bit. Actually, I don't think that'd clinch it, but it essentially put it on ice. I think the Cardinals get a win. I think the Eagles get a win to put them back at the number 1 seed. Now I think I'm going to go here. I'm going to go Jets. I like the Colts. I'm going to go Dolphins, Bills, Texans. I'm going to take the Bengals over the Chiefs. I think they would get that done. Then I'm going to go Chargers over the Broncos. Give me the Seahawks over the Steelers in a little bit of an upset. Give me the Jags over the Panthers. I'm going to go Cowboys, Philly, New York, San Fran, New Orleans, Chicago, and Minnesota. So, entering the final week of the season, this AFC race is actually crazy. We have the 7th seed Ravens at 11-5, with the Browns and Steelers both on their tail, just one game back, but the Dolphins and Jets are also both 11-5, so there's all sorts of seeding playoff implications on the line in this game. But no one has it easy, because the AFC East is still winnable to anyone, so the Bills are going to be trying their hardest. The Bengals might go a little easy, but the Browns might get kind of a free win. This is going to be an insane last week of the season. But we're going to get straight into it. The Jets will get the job done over the Patriots to clinch a playoff spot. But then the Dolphins season is going to be in jeopardy, as the Bills are going to win to clinch the AFC East. And then we got a crazy game fighting for a playoff spot. Steelers at Ravens, and I do think the Ravens will hold on to win. Nothing the Bengals are really playing for except for seeding after the Bills win. So the Bengals are going to get this win, eliminating the Browns and securing the playoffs, as Jets, Dolphins, Ravens, all three make the playoffs, and the Steelers and Browns are just going to miss out. But now we're going to fly through these other ones. Give me the Colts. Give me the Jags. I like the Chiefs here. I'm going to go Raiders over the Broncos. And then I think the Cowboys will win. The Panthers will win. Looking at the playoff implications, the Eagles need to win, so they're going to try their hardest, and they will beat the Giants, who have a very down season. And then this is for the NFC North, and I think the Lions get it done and go 12-5. And then we got the Bears. No, the Packers will beat the Bears to finish 5-12. The Saints